Welcome to News Edge, your sharpest source for daily headlines and deep dives. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay ahead of the curve. OPEC+, the powerful coalition led by oil giants Saudi Arabia and Russia, is preparing to gradually ramp up oil production this fall. This move comes after months of tight supply and intense negotiations behind closed doors, as the group seeks to navigate a rapidly changing global energy landscape. By the end of September, OPEC+ plans to add more than 500,000 barrels of oil to the global market each day. This increase is significant, signaling a shift in strategy after a period of deep production cuts that sent shockwaves through the industry. On the surface, this could suggest relief at the gas pump for everyday consumers, but the reality is far more complex, as oil prices are influenced by a web of factors beyond just supply and demand. OPEC+ is walking a tightrope, carefully managing supply to keep prices high enough to support their national budgets, but not so high that they risk stalling the fragile global economic recovery. Every decision is calculated, with billions of dollars and millions of jobs hanging in the balance. Despite the planned increase, most of their previous cuts, over 1.6 million barrels per day, remain firmly in place. There's no clear timeline for when or even if these barrels will return to the market, adding another layer of uncertainty. This deliberate ambiguity keeps markets on edge, giving OPEC+ the flexibility to shift direction at a moment's notice. It's a strategy designed to maximize their influence and keep competitors guessing. Around the world, traders and governments are watching every move, fully aware that a single miscalculation could send shockwaves through the global economy. The stakes are enormous, with energy security and inflation hanging in the balance. OPEC+ is signaling its dominance in the energy market, projecting confidence and control. Yet many experts warn that this show of strength could easily backfire if global demand falters or if political tensions escalate. The world waits in suspense, uncertain whether OPEC+'s next moves will stabilize the market or trigger a new energy crisis. Every announcement is scrutinized, every rumor can move markets. In this high-stakes game, the consequences of each decision ripple across continents. The stakes have never been higher, and the world is watching, holding its breath for what comes next. Despite OPEC+'s outward confidence, the global oil market is facing a period of significant uncertainty. OPEC+, a coalition of major oil-producing countries, has long played a pivotal role in balancing supply and demand, but the current situation is testing their ability to maintain stability. Many seasoned analysts and market observers are now warning of a looming oil glut, a situation where supply far outpaces demand. This oversupply could have far-reaching consequences for both producers and consumers around the world. As the high summer demand for fuel begins to fade, the risk of oversupply grows more acute, especially as we approach the fourth quarter of the year. Storage tanks are filling up, and refineries are already showing signs of reduced activity, signaling that the market may soon be awash in excess oil. Major financial institutions like Goldman Sachs and ING have issued stark warnings. They caution that if OPEC+ continues to increase production as planned, the market could be flooded, leading to a sharp drop in prices. These banks suggest that OPEC+ may need to reconsider their strategy and potentially halt or even reverse production increases to prevent a damaging price crash. Rising inventories combined with signs of slowing economic growth in key regions could force OPEC+ to make tough decisions. If demand continues to weaken while supply remains high, the group may have no choice but to cut output to stabilize the market. If OPEC+ ignores these mounting warnings and presses ahead with higher production, the consequences could be severe. Oil prices could plummet rapidly, dealing a heavy blow to the economies of member countries that rely on oil revenues and potentially destabilizing the entire global energy market. While lower oil prices might seem like good news for consumers at the pump, a sudden crash could have unintended side effects. It could choke off investment in new oil projects, leading to job losses and setting the stage for future supply shortages when demand eventually rebounds. The market is now on a knife's edge, with every move by OPEC+ being closely watched by investors, governments, and industry leaders. The decisions made in the coming months will be critical, not just for oil producers, but for the stability of the global economy as a whole. This is the paradox facing the oil market. Today's surplus, if not managed carefully, could lead to tomorrow's shortage. The cycle of boom and bust has played out before, and the world is anxious to see if it can be avoided this time. As the world watches and waits, the pressure is on OPEC Plus to navigate these turbulent waters and avoid triggering another cycle of volatility. The stakes could not be higher for the future of global energy. The global oil market hinges on China, the US, and India. China's weakening oil imports signal a slowing economy, threatening global demand. If China's appetite drops, a glut could quickly form. Meanwhile, the US shale boom has made America a top producer, challenging OPEC Plus's control. OPEC Plus closely monitors US output, ready to adjust if American production falters. India, with its massive population and growing economy, is another key player. But India is vulnerable to trade tensions and tariffs which could curb its oil demand. The fortunes of these three nations are deeply intertwined, and a shock in one can ripple worldwide. OPEC Plus must constantly adapt to their economic shifts. The result, a volatile, unpredictable market where surprises are the norm. The balance of power is always in flux. Geopolitics, not just economics, drives the oil market. US threats of tariffs on India could slow its economy and disrupt global oil demand. Political moves like these force OPEC Plus to react, not plan. Tensions between the West and Russia add more volatility as sanctions and price caps disrupt supply. Restricting Russian oil can spike prices and unsettle markets. OPEC Plus must navigate a world where a single political decision can upend their strategy overnight. The group's leaders are forced to be both oil producers and political strategists. The market remains on edge, with the risk of crisis ever present. In this environment, stability is elusive. Russia's role in OPEC Plus is a major wildcard. Sanctions and price caps aim to cut Russia's oil revenue, but also inject huge uncertainty into the market. Saudi Arabia, OPEC Plus's leader, is caught between its alliance with Russia and pressure from the US. This balancing act shapes global energy security. US efforts to punish Russia can backfire, risking price spikes that hurt allies. The flow of Russian oil now depends on politics, not just market forces. OPEC Plus must constantly assess how much Russian oil reaches the market. The Russian factor clouds the outlook, raising the risk of miscalculation. Every move is fraught with global consequences. The stakes for energy security have never been higher. The world watches as OPEC Plus and Russia navigate this dangerous game. OPEC Plus's mantra is flexibility. Their production plans can be paused or reversed if market conditions shift. This adaptability is a deliberate strategy to manage volatility and calm markets. If a glut forms, OPEC Plus can halt increases to defend prices. Their public messaging emphasizes readiness to act, keeping traders alert. Flexibility is their shield against unpredictable forces, from China's economy to Russian politics. The coming months will test their ability to stay nimble. Survival depends on quick, decisive moves. Traders are watching for when, not if, OPEC Plus will pivot. If data shows a surplus, the group may pause or reverse production hikes to stabilize prices. Such moves would signal serious concern and a willingness to defend price floors. Internal politics matter. Consensus among over 20 nations, including Russia, is required. The threat of collapsing prices usually unites the group. OPEC Plus's challenge is to find a Goldilocks price, high enough for revenue, low enough to sustain demand. Their timing and unity will determine success or failure. The world's energy balance hangs in the balance. OPEC Plus isn't just fighting for today's oil market, it's locked in a high-stakes battle with US shale producers for control over the future of global energy. This rivalry is about more than just barrels and profits. It's about shaping the direction of the world's energy landscape for decades to come. As the world's largest oil exporters, OPEC Plus has long held sway over prices and supply, but the rapid rise of American shale has changed the game. Over the past decade, American shale has dramatically increased US oil output, eroding OPEC Plus's dominance and forcing the cartel to rethink its strategies. The US has become a major player, using advanced drilling and fracking technologies to unlock vast reserves once thought unreachable. This has led to a more competitive, unpredictable market, where OPEC Plus can no longer dictate terms as easily as before. If US production stumbles, whether due to economic pressures, regulatory changes, or market downturns, OPEC Plus stands ready to step in and fill the gap, quickly ramping up their own output to maintain their influence and keep global markets supplied. But the long-term trend is unmistakable. Around the world, demand for oil is expected to eventually decline as cleaner, renewable energy sources like wind and solar become more affordable and widespread. Governments and companies are investing billions in the energy transition, aiming to reduce carbon emissions and build a more sustainable future. In response, OPEC Plus is working to maximize its revenue while it can, but it's also investing in the transition, diversifying economies, funding new technologies, and preparing for a world where oil is no longer king. Building strong strategic ties with fast-growing economies like China and India is crucial for OPEC+. These countries represent the largest sources of future energy demand, and securing long-term partnerships ensures that OPEC+ oil will continue to flow, even as other markets shrink. The group is embedding itself deeply in Asia's energy infrastructure, investing in pipelines, refineries, and joint ventures to remain a central player in the region's energy future and to safeguard its relevance as the world changes. Ultimately, the outcome of this competition will depend on who can innovate faster, adapt to new technologies, and respond to shifting patterns of growth and energy consumption. The pace of the global energy transition will determine which players thrive and which are left behind. For now, OPEC Plus is focused on navigating immediate market turbulence, balancing supply, managing prices, and responding to geopolitical shocks. But make no mistake, its eyes are firmly fixed on the horizon, preparing for whatever the future may bring. The next chapter in global energy is being written right now, shaped by competition, innovation, and the relentless drive toward a cleaner, more sustainable world. OPEC Plus's decisions and global politics are pushing the world toward a precarious energy future. For the US, a price crash could devastate shale producers, a spike could fuel inflation and recession. The world economy runs on oil, and instability threatens everyone. Tariffs, sanctions, and political missteps can trigger crises that ripple worldwide. OPEC Plus is betting it can fine-tune supply, but the market is unpredictable. Overestimating demand could crash prices, underestimating risks a spike. The coming months will test the world's ability to avoid an energy crisis. The stakes, stability, or a full-blown global shock.